You can't repair what you refuse to inherit. Let me guess, you've looked around at the news and you thought, what is happening to our country? You see escalating state power, dehumanizing language, and violence aimed over and over at people who are not white. And then you hear me say, start by researching your family history. And you're like, seriously? That's your answer? Yep, and let me tell you why. This doesn't come out of nowhere. It doesn't arrive from some foreign evil that we can pretend has nothing to do with us. A lot of what we're watching right now grows from American systems and from the stories that made those systems feel normal. Stories about who belongs, stories about who's dangerous, stories about who deserves power and who doesn't. And those stories weren't created by ghosts. They were built by real people in real towns and from real institutions. And yes, through families, including mine. Let us be real clear about what I'm doing here because people misunderstand this. This is not about guilt. It's not about me saying my ancestors did bad things, therefore I'm a bad person. And it's definitely not about performing virtue online. This is about something more grounded, responsibility. Because whether we like it or not, we inherited the benefits and the stories of racist systems. And if we inherited it, we have a responsibility to repair what it harmed. For a long time, I thought racism was out there. I had good intentions, I supported the right things, I read books, I listened, but I didn't understand, not deep in my bones, how connected I was to the stories that built this country's racial hierarchy. And then I started going back into my own family history, really looking, not to collect names and dates, but to ask, what did my people do? What did they believe? Who did their choices harm? I found a lot of things that I didn't want to find, and that changed me. Here's the problem. History can stay abstract. Even when we learn true facts, our minds can keep those facts in arm's length. But imagination, done responsibly, changes that. It makes history personal. It makes it real. It forces you to sit with a human being, not just an event, to see how ordinary people rationalize harm, to notice the stories they told themselves about race, about order, about deserving. And sometimes you recognize their logic still operating today in your community, in your institutions, maybe even in yourself. So I built a process. It's 7 steps so this whole thing does not stay vague. You're not just going to be aware, you're going to do something concrete. Here are the steps quickly. Later, we'll go through one episode at a time in depth. First, learn an overview of the history of race. Next, build a simple family line, nothing fancy. Choose one ancestor. Research their context, what their world taught them. Imagine a conversation with them, grounded in your research. Repeat with another ancestor if it's helpful. And then finally, take a repair action, something that creates material change, and then keep doing steps of repair. By the end of the series, you will have a plan that you can actually follow. You'll have a short list of ways to learn the history without getting overwhelmed, a simple family line that you can build in a few hours, one ancestor chosen, a method for researching context even when your records are sparse, a safe, grounded way to do the conversation, and a real repair step that you can sustain. And if you're thinking, I'm not a historian and I'm not a genealogist, good. You don't have to be. This isn't about being perfect. It's about getting started. Now, one important note before we go any further. This work can bring up big feelings. So don't do it alone, especially if you have any tendencies toward anxiety or getting overwhelmed. So tell a trusted friend, a family member, a counselor, have them stand ready to help. And if at any point you feel anxious, you feel overwhelmed, you feel distress of any kind, give it a pause, talk to your friend, get help, and then decide when to start again. This isn't therapy, but it can be emotionally intense, and I want you to feel safe. Okay, episode 2 is where we start the actual steps. We'll do steps 1 and 2, how to learn a basic overview of race history without drowning, and how to build the simplest possible family line, just one branch, so you can start. And if you want the whole written framework and the resource guides, I'll link it below. It's free. Watch episode 2 next, and if this series is the kind of work that you want to see more of, like, subscribe, and share it with one person who's asking, what do I do now? We don't choose what we inherit, but we do choose what to do next. I'll see you in episode 2.